It's the Monday after the Super Bowl, and we're live on 1620 The Zone. Jimmy Allen, John Schreiner, Dan Camping with you here on Super Monday.
It's the luge.
And the Olympics is on for anybody, all four of you that care about that. You can check it out tonight. We're going to talk about it a little bit, I guess. But if the first hour is brought to you by Bellevue University. If you want to keep up to date on all the championship action happening on Bellevue's campus, download the BU Bruins app to your smartphone tonight. We'll recap the big game from last night. We'll talk about Nebraska and Creighton's path through the season. Very different for both of those squads. We'll tell you why at 6:15. Have you heard? A Moose wrote a book. We're going to talk about it at 6:30. Football is over. How should you deal with it? We're here to put you on the black leather couch and pull out our book and walk you through you through life.
I like how you took my suggestion for topics today.
Yes, exactly. Way too early power rankings in the NFL are out the day after the Super Bowl. Where does your team land? We'll let you know that. And more. 402-951-1620 is how you can get a hold of the show. You can also get a hold of us at After Hours 1620 on Twitter as well. I just want to point out the fact that if I just stop talking at some point, I've died of heat exhaustion. It's 9,000 degrees in this studio tonight. Maybe our friends at Usher Media need to contact Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. I want to break down not only the game last night, but how we feel after the game. Because last night was deemed as this Sam Darnold revenge tour. He's a different guy. We were wrong to bury him. This is his redemption arc story, right? Did you feel that much better about Sam Darnold last night after that game? Because there was New England probably should have had 4 interceptions last night that they dropped.
Okay.
Clearly a different game. I think the story, and this isn't to pile on Sam Darnold, I just expected, hey, if Sam Darnold, and maybe this is me setting expectations that didn't happen, but my expectations were, okay, this will anoint Sam Darnold as a non-bust. And I think it does that to some degree. I just didn't leave last night thinking, hey, Seattle's got to find a way to lock this guy up and keep him longer.
Really?
Yes.
So I think it's the accumulation of the last 2 years that have changed the thinking about Sam Darnold. It's not.
I think differently than I thought about him in New York or in Carolina, but I'm thinking of this is a guy that you need to pay $100 million over 4 years. I don't feel that way about Sam Darnold, even though he just won a Super Bowl last night.
Yeah, he doesn't have the skills, the skill set that necessarily makes you want to throw your entire free agent budget at him. That is still true. But I think what he has shown is that with some amount of weapons around him,
with great power comes great responsibility,
and a good defense, this is a guy you can win a Super Bowl with. And there are a bunch of quarterbacks out there starting for NFL teams that you would go, you're not winning a Super Bowl with that guy. I don't care who you've got around him. There's just so few players in the league that you can say we can win a Super Bowl with this quarterback. I think you have to do everything. When you've got a guy who's proven that you can, that's a guy you got to keep.
It just feels even though it's obviously the opposite side of the spectrum, and he won the game. It just feels like Jared Goff after the Rams lost that one. Now, obviously, the Seahawks scored touchdowns last night. That wasn't the problem, but it almost felt like they were doing it despite Sam Darnold. Between both guys last night, it felt like every throw was a hair behind on both sides of the
game. I'll look. Were there some mistake throws from Darnold? Yes, there were. No doubt about that.
But it was very good defense.
But in the second half, which quarterback adjusted? And we can talk about Drake May, and I want to, but Sam Darnold did a much better job in the second half of taking the check down, getting the ball out quickly, finding the open receiver, because there was always pressure on every single drop back. He was really good at quickly diagnosing the defense in the second half, which he wasn't so good at in the first half. And I think that is a characteristic that gets overlooked.
Sure, I agree with that.
He was not locked into one method of thinking and making the same reads and throws all night long. He changed the way he was approaching the game, and that's what allowed Seattle's offense to build that lead.
I also want to point out he was playing with a lead at that point.
Oh, too. Certainly.
Yeah, and then that matters. But you just mentioned Drake May a minute ago, and I want to switch that because I disagree with what you just said. That second half, I felt like Drake May loosened up and actually played a little bit better for one reason, though. He stopped thinking and he just started throwing to the spot where guys were supposed to be, because any other time he tried, he didn't have time to get through progressions.
Sure.
The one thing I was surprised with was his inability or lack of desire to just pull it down and start running till the end of the middle of the fourth quarter. And again, this is a guy that's in year number 2 of a system. He's got 2 offensive linemen that are rookies. He's got another one that's a second-year player as well. Like, Seattle ate that offensive line for dinner last night.
And I think the biggest post-game revelation was the fact that he had an injection in his shoulder ahead of the game. Because when I was
you talking about Drake May,
Drake May. Yeah. When I was watching,
I thought you were saying about
game,
Sam Darnold for a second. I was like, that didn't happen.
It looked like every one of his passes was moving in slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I was like, this is not the same guy that I've seen.
Well,
all
remember,
year
he
long.
missed the first 2 days of practice in Super Bowl week because of a shoulder injury.
But it was sort of downplayed and
sure.
But to know that he had to have a pain-killing injection to be able to play in the game, explains so much about the way you saw him throw the football. Like, there were so many times where it was like, he's going to take a deep shot, and he threw it 4 miles in the air. And you're like, that's not the quarterback we've seen all year.
Well, and same thing, not same position, maybe not the same thing, but Nicky Emmanuel had the ankle injury, and before the game, Kyle Shanahan and everybody on the sideline was saying, we saw him moving around. He's not playing tonight.
Yeah.
He played every snap last night. So obviously both guys doing some sort of regimen to make sure that they're able to go. But listen, with that being said, like, there were a lot of passes from Darnold last night where I went, man, he's just late out of the break every time.
Yeah. And look,
I guess I say that to ask you this. Did you feel like that 3 years from now, Seattle is going to be in a place where they have to keep Sam Darnold?
No.
I didn't feel that way after that game.
I think
we're talking about a guy that just won a Super Bowl less than 24 hours ago.
Right. And look, 3 years from now, Seattle could be in a vastly different situation. These things ebb and flow, and free agency is free agency, and you don't know who stays and who goes from that defense.
Sure.
You don't like Jackson Smith-Njigba has a Cowboys tattoo on his arm.
Yeah.
Like, that guy grew up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
It sucks that he got banged up, too.
Yeah.
Because, like, him being a non-factor that game, even though he really, a non-factor for his standards. Obviously he had that one play where he was just streaking wide open, and Darnold missed him because he was under so much pressure. But, I didn't feel better about Sam Darnold than I did Drake. I felt like they played a very similar football game last night. I just felt like Seattle's team around him was that much. I want to be very clear. I'm not trying to say that the Minnesota Vikings made the right decision.
They definitely didn't.
And that anybody could be plugged into Seattle's team and they would win. Sam Darnold was obviously serviceable enough. I just find it hard to believe that you can eventually find a better quarterback than that.
Well, I think that's what everyone always believes, right?
Sure.
Is that we can find somebody better unless you've got one of the top 2 or 3 guys in the league. And, from a skills perspective, I don't think anyone's going to mistake Sam Darnold for being one of the top 2 or 3 most talented quarterbacks in the league. He's talented. He's up there. He's not Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen from a raw talent perspective.
How about the fact that he was the first USC Trojan to start at quarterback in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's wild.
That's for all the talent that's played quarterback at that school.
The thing that's going to be interesting is how much money he's going to want, because
that's a great point.
I think if he's willing to take a mid-level quarterback salary so that they can build the team and keep the defensive pieces to get like Tom Brady did for so many years in New England, not take the absolute max allowable amount of money so that you can have pieces around him.
Well, on the flip side,
in that case, you could be running a dynasty with Sam Darnold.
Well, and the flip side of that is, as a coach around here likes to say, the most desperate team sets the market, right?
Sure.
So if Sam Darnold isn't with the Seattle Seahawks in 3 years, he could be making more money somewhere else because he is a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
It could be his decision not to be there. It might not be up to Seattle whether he stays or goes.
Sure. I want to talk about the last quote meaningful play of the game last night. So there's the play where I think there's 2:04 left. Seattle snaps the ball and hands it off to Kenneth Walker. A hole the size of the Grand Canyon opens up, and he sprints full speed to the end zone and is disappointed because there's a flag. Now, we're sitting there. There may have been somebody in the room that had the Seahawks -16 last night, by the way.
Who was that?
if he scores that touchdown there, they obviously seal the deal by a mile, and there's no way New England's getting back into it. But Kenneth Walker seems like the type of guy that if in the regular season or even the playoffs before the Super Bowl,
he's going to fall down.
If it's 4th and 1 from the 10, he gets a pole and gets down to the 1 yard line to close the game out, he'll drop to a knee.
Yeah.
What did you make of him trying to score? It's the Super Bowl. You have to, right?
Yeah. But going up 3 scores at that point in the game is a death sentence.
Somebody would have appreciated it.
It's not. Yeah, I didn't mind it. It was an absolute sellout by the New England defense to try and stop, and they just called the right play, and he popped the hole.
And there just happened to be 3 holdings on the play.
Yeah.
Like you could have thrown a flag in 4 different situations.
No, I think in that situation, it's the Super Bowl. Have your moment. Yeah, if the game's in jeopardy, if there's a chance that the other team could come back,
yeah,
but not putting you up 3 touchdowns.
I would have loved a still shot of the inside of his face mask when that hole opened up. Because, you probably could have seen Oakland through the hole in Santa Clara that he was looking through. You said you want to talk about Drake May.
That was it. Yeah, it was the shoulder stuff.
Yeah, but I also think, I wonder if he plays that first half the way he played loosely. And I know he threw that horrible interception in the second half. There's obviously a lot of reasons for that. But, he literally just started dropping back and throwing the route. He wasn't looking for guys. He wasn't going through progressions. He was like, here's read number 1. He's supposed to be there. I'm going to put it over there and see if my guy can make a play. And it started working. It's the reason they opened up that second half and we're starting to score. Now, obviously, Seattle caught up to that and they just started running the route. And that's why they ended up having the bad throw, but B, their ability to find out where the ball was going to land before it got there helped out a ton. But it just felt like he went, okay, my offensive line can't hold up for me. I'm just going to start doing my best riverboat gambler impersonation, rolling the dice here.
There were some times in that first half where he had the check down and passed up on it,
or just missed,
and then got himself into trouble because of it.
Yeah.
Because it was like he was slow to process the pressure.
And you have to wonder how much his shoulder was playing into that too.
And it's also a young player in his first Super Bowl desperately wanting to make
his
a play.
First playoffs also. It just happened to be in the championship game too. Yeah.
Wanting to make the play for his team so badly that I think it was almost he's just trying to be a little too aggressive instead of taking what was there.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of what that offense has been built upon all year.
Sure.
Right?
Both of them, by the way.
Yeah. We're going to run the ball and we're going to take what you give us in the passing game and not force it. Maybe if he had done that in the first half, maybe they manage a field goal somewhere in there.
Sure.
Maybe it's a little closer game. Who knows? I don't think they were beating Seattle on the night. I think that defense was so locked in. The scheme was incredible. And this is the other thing.
Oh, can I touch on that for a second?
Yeah.
Because that's what I've been hearing. Oh, man, that scheme was so good last night, and the game plan was so good last night, and they were locked in so – somebody had seen that defense up close and personal twice this year? No. That's just who that – this is what I was trying to say all last week. This defense is going to go down as one of the greatest we've ever seen.
Yeah, you keep saying that, but I disagree.
I'm telling you, man, give them 2 more years together, and we're going to be talking about this team in a completely different light. The fact that they won a Super Bowl last night and they have the ability to keep the majority of that defense intact next year, I think they got a lot of road to hoe there on that team.
But this year specifically, I don't know that you can put him in that category. The best ever.
I want to be very clear. I said one of the best ever, not the best ever.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like with the things that Seattle was doing, there wasn't a team that was going to beat them last night. They're just that team didn't exist in the NFL this year.
So that's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't just last night. That's been this team all season.
And honestly, forget the final score. In the first half, that was 2 excellent defensive football teams.
Absolutely.
Going toe to toe.
I think they were the 2 best defenses in the league all year.
And you start to wonder
did you feel like it was over at 12-0?
Absolutely did.
Okay. All right. I was making sure it was just me.
Ultimately, it wasn't, but it felt like it. You have 2 defensive-minded head coaches in the Super Bowl, right? Like, we have long heard about the end of defensive football, and the rules are too prohibitive to be able to play winning defense. You've got to have this high-powered offense to go out and win. I think we've seen a little bit of a shift, and there may be a trend. Like, and these things always go in cycles. We're always quick to make proclamations about the end of this or that, and it goes in cycles, right? Like,
remember when Colin Cowherd told us nobody in the North would ever win a national championship?
He said that so many times.
People forget.
But it goes in cycles. And you have periods where offensive innovation outpaces defensive innovation. And then what happens? Those offensive innovations are like, hey, we've got the secret sauce. This is what we're doing. Here's the offense. This is the offense that wins. Eventually, defenses catch up. They figure it out. And then offenses are forced to innovate again. Like, it's a cycle. And we're in this. I think we're maybe just coming into the cycle now where defenses have caught up again. And there's going to have to be some more offensive innovation.
Well, it's also, you get new eyes on the product. You get new head coaches running different systems and making adjustments, and guys going from being defensive coordinators where they have the ability to affect the game to being head coaches where they have the ability to control the game too. And I think that's got a lot to do with it.
And it was clear that these are two defensive-led teams that were in the Super Bowl. And I don't know that we can say that we've seen that Super Bowl where it was two teams that were absolutely led by their defense in quite a while.
Right, because I mean, even the most defensive-centric Super Bowl you could think of, Rams Patriots, was 13-3, right? Was the final. Sean McVay is famously an offensive-minded head coach. It just didn't go well for him and Jared Goff that night. Overall, how do you grade the game from a football fan standpoint?
Yeah, and I think this depends on the kind of fan that you are, because if you're a football nerd and you really dig into like defensive schemes and blitz packages and coverages, like, this was a fun watch from that perspective because there were so many cool things that were happening. If you're the type of fan that wants to see a lot of points and big explosive plays, you probably hated it. But for me, I'm kind of somewhere in the middle of those two polar extremes. This was like a B-.
See, I gave it a B+. I loved this game last night. I loved the game with inside the game. I loved Mike McDonald versus Mike Vrabel, and you could see that happening. I also think watch just me and my best friend last night, and then my wife for part of the game. We're the only ones watching the game, and like we were just sitting there dissecting it back and forth too. And it was just like, if you wanted to nerd out on a football game, last night might have been like the biggest stage, two of the best defensive-minded head coaches, the adjustments going on inside of the game. I thought it was just from a pure football standpoint, a ton of fun to watch.
Yeah,
what did you guys do for the game?
Oh, it was just me, my wife, and my son. We were at home, made some various, snack-oriented foods, and went in the basement, flipped on the TV, and we just hung out and watched it.
I almost died last night. We did jalapeno poppers from Hy-Vee.
Okay.
I don't know where Hy-Vee in Shadow Lake finds their jalapenos at. I started like biting into this thing. It was literally one of the hottest things I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Yeah.
And then my wife ate hers, and then my buddy was like, I don't know what happened to your guys. This is just a normal jalapeno. I took a bite of his, and his was fine. Like, ours were like just the hottest jalapenos I've ever had in my life.
They must have been like the Russian roulette jalapenos.
Like we were at the bottom of the barrel. All the juices had soaked into this.
Two of them were habaneros, and
listen, I've had habaneros and I've had jalapenos. This jalapeno I ate last night was hotter than any habanero I've ever had. Wow. I don't know what happened. They got mixed up somewhere. Hey, if you didn't get mixed up, but you didn't hear part of the segment when I hear it, listen to it on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Aloe Fiber. From Nebraska neighborhoods all across the state, it's clear there is no place like Nebraska. And just like so many of us, Aloe calls Nebraska home. Born and raised right here in the Cornhusker State, sharing proud traditions of agriculture, athletics, education, and community. Aloe Fiber is bringing all of our communities together, connection by connection. Head over to aloefiber.com. /Husker Radio and get out of the Stone Age tonight. Aloe Fiber is the official TV, internet, and mobile provider of the Huskers. When we come back, speaking of the Huskers, what does Fred Hoiberg and Greg McDermott have to do to get through the rest of the season on a positive note? 1620 Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's John here for Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Best brands in the business. You know where you can find them, 78th and Dodge. Johnny O, Peter Millar, Horn Legend, the newest additions. They got the Creighton gear. They got the Nebraska gear. Whatever you need, they've got it in stock for you. Get in there tomorrow. touch it with your hands, try it on, make sure you're walking out with the thing that you want that fits you the way you want it to. And if today reminded you of anything, it's the golf season's just around the corner, baby, and you got to get ready because they have all the stuff you need to look your best when you get out there on the course. Plus, wedding season's right around the corner. Don't rent it. Go buy it. Look great. Get it from Jerry Ryan, 78th and Dodge. They've been dressed in Omaha for over 50 years.
Partly cloudy tonight, turning breezy and a little bit cooler. Low temperature down in the lower 30s, and then partly cloudy, breezy, and somewhat cooler Tuesday. Highs in the lower 50s. Partly sunny skies for Wednesday. High again in the low 50s. I am Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
If you're looking for an authentic Italian experience, look no further than Pasta Amore. For 4 decades, Pasta Amore has been keeping the spark alive for couples in the Omaha area with their homemade pasta, made fresh every day. Our hand-picked selection of exceptional wines will put the nightcap on your evening that you expect. Open every day at 4. Stop by Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village and enjoy dining in the romantic dining room or relax on our shaded patio.
Think Recon. Visit reconpestservices.com and get your home ready for a pest-free spring.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at pyramidroof.com. Never settle for less.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
$6:25 on a Monday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. You don't have to head over to Bellevue's campus to keep up to date on all the championship action. You should. Get down to the Bellevue Fieldhouse. You can also download the BU Bruins app to your smartphone tonight. Jimmy Allen, John Schreiner, Dan Campion with you here on 1620 The Zone, coming off the heels of the big game, but also a weekend where both Nebraska and Creighton basketball found a win this weekend. And we talked about this with Fred Hoiberg and everybody watching the sky fall saying, what's wrong with Nebraska? Well, they went out and got a 12-point victory over Rutgers, but didn't look as polished as maybe some of their performance had been this season, but it was a game on the road in college basketball in the middle of February.
Rink's back, though.
But they're getting healthy, and I think that is the most important part and cog of the wheel for this team going forward.
Yeah, and I was just looking at, sort of I love it this time of year when ESPN does, the locks, the work to do, should be in the list of the whole breakdown of where everyone is. And Nebraska being in the locks category at this stage of the season feels so very weird. Like just to see their name and just like have no explanation of what they need to do down the stretch to get into the tournament is like that's a bizarre feeling.
Not only are they in, they're like they're at worst, and I mean absolute worst 5 seed.
If lose out.
Yeah, absolute worst. Yeah. By the way, they're not losing out either.
It just so the rest of the regular season to me, given what you just said, is just about seeding. There's nothing left to prove now. You're firmly in the tournament. You're firmly at the head of the class. Well, you're going to be a top 4 seed most likely.
I don't think it's
in your region.
I don't think it's strictly about seeding. I mean, obviously you want to win a Big Ten championship. There's that aspect of it. I mean, yeah.
The regular season is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you want to win a regular season Big Ten championship. Like,
I don't think that's going to happen.
It's going to be tough, but because you don't play either Michigan or Illinois again, but it's definitely a possible. Like, there's
possible.
There's an outside possibility. It's going to obviously help with a win over Purdue on Saturday if you're able to pull that off. Not Saturday, on tomorrow.
Tuesday.
Tomorrow, yeah. But when you look at the back end of that schedule, Nebraska's going to be favored and by probably some pretty big numbers in a few of those games that left because they finish obviously with Purdue at PBA tomorrow, Northwestern home at Iowa, Penn State at home, Maryland at home, at USC, at UCLA, Iowa at home. They're going to be favored in all those games.
Yeah, you would have to think so. And so I think for the rest of the season
you finished 26-2. You're at 1 seed no matter what happens in the Big Ten tournament, probably.
You would hope so.
Yeah.
But look, stranger things have happened, man.
Sure, absolutely.
They're being undefeated and being on the bubble, which is just an absurd thing to think about, but here we are. The rest of the regular season, I think it has to be, honestly, about minutes management.
Good point.
Because you don't want to get Brinkmast, Buchengel, or Sanford. Like, you can't have those guys get hurt.
Because we've seen what it looks like when they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
any chance that you get to sit those guys at the end of a game, I think you absolutely have to do it. I'm so invested in this team.
Yeah.
Being the team that ends the streak. I just want them to be so set up for success when they get to the postseason.
It is going to be this is going to be one of the most interesting selection Sundays of all time, specifically around here, but for several reasons, just by the way this college basketball season is starting to play out. And we just talked about it, worst case being a 5 seed for Nebraska, but I firmly believe they're going to be a 2 at worst. Looking at actuality, the way things are going to play out.
Win or lose against Purdue, maybe you lose one more.
I think if they beat Purdue, they're absolutely locked in at a 2 no matter what. Because I just don't think they're going to lose any of those games that are left. And maybe if you lose one, you're probably still going to be on 2. 3 losses in the regular season, you're probably going to win 2 tournament games, maybe 3, maybe a championship. You're definitely a 2. You win the Big Ten championship. You're obviously a 1 seed, but I mean that means worst case would be a 2 at that point, right? So that day, people are this is the first time in Nebraska basketball history where people are going to go, how do we get to the Elite 8 Final Four? It's not about the second weekend. And for a long time it's been about game number 1, right?
Yeah. If you're a 1, you're thinking about we could actually win a championship.
I'm genuinely excited for this state and the vibe around this program about that Monday afterwards, where you're filling out your bracket and you're looking at, does Nebraska basketball have a path to a national title?
And look, how much, if this is sustainable for Nebraska, how much better does it make the Nebraska-Creighton rivalry? If Nebraska's actually a national contender.
Yeah, see, and that's people, you're a Creighton fan. You shouldn't root for Nebraska. You should listen. If Nebraska beats Creighton, I want Nebraska to win every game. The rest, I'm rooting for Nebraska. But if you're a Creighton fan or if you're a Nebraska fan and Creighton wins, everybody's like, I hate Creighton. I hope they lose. Why?
Yeah.
It makes it that much better when you beat them. Like you want that to be an established program on the other side of the court.
Yeah, it's like I think if Nebraska can even, just get into the realm of being nationally relevant, that rivalry gets so much better. Like it's already pretty cool, but man, if there's actually more than just state bragging rights on the line every year, that's fun. And that is awesome. Rivalries are good. They're better when they have implications.
Yeah, it's one thing to have bragging rights, but it's better to have bragging rights and a quad 1 win.
Yes.
Like speaking of that, let's flip to the other side, talk about Blue Nebraska for a second. Obviously the Jays got on the right side of things Saturday night against Seton Hall. Down 12 with a minute and down 11 with a minute 12 to go. They go on a 12-1 run, end up closing it out by a last-second Nick Graves 3. And like his quote after the game, I don't know if you've seen this, but they asked Nick Graves what was different about this game, and he said it kind of felt like we had an angel looking out for us, and obviously referencing Josh Dix's mom passing last Saturday. But this team has a lot of deficiencies defensively, specifically, and then you
been talking about it all year.
You couple that with their struggles at moving the basketball and being able to score at a high clip because of their inability to handle pressure at times. With that being said, like this team has had every reason to go, we'll see what happens next year.
Yeah.
Or, okay, obviously we're not going to be able to hold this team under 70 points or whatever. They just have continued to fight. And listen, they did what they did on Saturday without Austin Swartz, their best offensive weapon all season.
Yep.
So there's been a lot of talk about, well, what if Mac walks away, or can Mac hang it up with this team, or is this Greg McDermott's fault? Stop saying that, first of all. Secondly, I think all the questions about the mental makeup of this team or who this team could be or what this coaching staff saw in this team was answered on Saturday night. And I'm not saying that because they won. I'm saying it because of the way they won and the way they conducted business between those 40 minutes. Like, that is like, I understand it was 5 minutes, but that was the best movement we've seen from Owen Freeman at the time. I think Josh Dix is finally feeling comfortable in this system. Nick Graves is clearly the number one point guard of this team and has been all year. There's reasons he wasn't starting, and you're seeing why he was regarded as highly as he was out of Charlotte. I think it gets missed sometimes because of the level of success that this program has had, how difficult it is to play in this system in a short amount of time. Now, is that on the coaches for bringing in short amount of time guys? Yeah, you could say that. But also you're having to replace a 50-year senior at point guard and a 50-year 4-time reigning defensive player of the year in the center position. It was going to be really difficult. Like, listen, when Stephen Ashworth got here, he was not this polished product that walked onto the floor the first day as a 23-year-old and was ready to play college basketball at a high clip in the Creighton system. It took him a year and a half to catch up to him. Now, should it be on the coaching staff to adjust their system a little bit so it's easier to develop? Sure, I'll hear that, but then it becomes a different system. So there's also that double-edged sword to it. You have to dance with the girl that brought you to the dance, right?
Yep.
And that's what this Creighton system is.
It's interesting looking at Bubble Watch today. Creighton's still in the long shot category.
Yeah.
Did that surprise you?
Yeah, very much so, because they're 2 games over 500 right now. Now, I think why I think that's happening and why it's even a discussion at this point is because they're still 4th in the Big East.
Yep.
And there's a discussion about, well, how many do we have to put 4 Big East teams in? Because it's the Big East. And if they're putting 4 Big East teams in right now, Creighton's in that discussion. I don't expect them to be 4th in the Big East by the time the smoke clears.
Yeah, but what if they beat UConn?
I said this when it was in Omaha. I'll say this again. I think if they play 100 games, UConn wins 100 of them. I think St. John's is
but it's that 101st.
There you go. Yeah. So you're saying there's a chance. I was really surprised with the St. John's outcome, but we kind of talked about this on the Roll Jays podcast a couple months ago, that like it kind of feels like if anybody's going to be the get right team midway through the season, it's probably going to be Rick Pitino's team because it's kind of what he does. But with that being said, I still think UConn's one of the best teams in the country. I expect them. I expect, and from that sense that I expect them to be on a 1 line come Selection Sunday, and I expect them to, even though what happened in Queens, I expect them to win the Big East tournament as well. So I mean, listen, if they beat UConn, all bets are off. Because they could also still beat St. John's then also. And if you win those 2 games, you now have 6 quad 1 wins, and we're having a completely different conversation.
Yeah, and you're in the top 4 going into the conference tournament, and
you get to the championship game, you're probably in.
At that point, yes. But look, it's going to take a miraculous run. It's going to take this team being something they haven't been all season long.
But with that being said, like even if you beat UConn and you beat St. John's and you make it to the championship game, I still think you're a last 4 play in 11.
Probably.
Probably. And it's probably you're that. So there's like a 50-50 shot you're not.
Right.
Because there's a lot of things that could happen in championship lineups that would keep you out.
Here's what they're going to have to be something they just haven't been all year.
And that's the other part of the discussion.
Which is consistent.
Yeah.
They're going to have to be super consistent down the stretch and consistently good. Yeah. Not consistent, like not just consistent, but consistently good.
I don't want to take anything.
And look, if there's a coach who can get that out of a team, I believe Greg McDermott is one of those coaches who could get that. Is this the right group to get it out of? That remains to be seen.
And I'm not trying to take anything away from them. Listen, the other team wants to win too, right? Seton Hall was trying to win that basketball game, but Seton Hall's had some deficiencies this season too, and their inability to score the basketball against anybody has been very head-scratching at times.
The team with only 1 quad win itself.
Yeah, and listen, I like Shaheen Holloway a lot. I think this team being Seton Hall massively overachieved through the first 14 games of the season, and now the pendulum is just swinging back the other direction. But yeah, listen, and we just talked about everything about Creighton and what they have to do to try to get to the tournament. You might have to do that without Austin Swartz for the rest of the year. Like they don't know how bad that foot injury is. Yep. So that's obviously going to be one of the bigger questions. Like saw him before the game and he had to sit down after standing up for too long. Like that's where he is with that injury. And now like throw into the fact that Josh Dix is banged up. You don't know when you're getting Josh Townley Thomas back. It felt like Owen Freeman looked okay on Saturday, but who knows what that situation looks like.
Jason Green's arm could fall off at any time.
Jason Green's playing with a half an arm and half a leg, and it seems to be the most important person on the team. So there's also that equation. Like this team is super banged up. And think about all of that on top of everything we already said, like postseason's going to be a little rough.
Yep.
Hey, if you missed this segment, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by our friends over at Timberwood Fire Bistro. If you're looking for the best dining experience in the Metro tonight, look no further than 87th and Pacific. Stop by Timberwood Fire Bistro. Try my personal favorite. It's the Timber Pie. It's the perfect combination of sweet, savory, and cheesy with your my favorite pizza. Not yours. It could be. Can be right now. Stop by Timberwood Fire Bistro. Have a new favorite pizza in town because Timber's Timber Pie is my personal favorite pizza of all time. Stop by tonight. Try it. Tell me on Twitter why I was right about it. We'll be right back. Bill Moose has a lot of interesting things to say. We'll tell you what they are when we come back at 1620 Zone.
Hey, everybody. It's John here for Bob at Williams Law. Did you try to sue your way into an organization? Did you fail? You probably failed because you didn't have Bob Williams as your legal advisor. And you know what? You probably could have saved some money, too, because Bob would have sat down with you for a free, no obligation legal consultation. He would have told you to stop trying to do that because it's a bad idea and you're going to lose. And that would have been solid legal advice. If you need solid legal advice, criminal, civil, or personal, Bob's your man. You got legal questions, you need Bob Williams in your corner. Check out WilliamsLawLLC.com.
Diet Coke Cherry is making a return, and Chesterman Coca-Cola is bringing the flavor back to Omaha. Find Diet Coke Cherry 12-packs right now at Hy-Vee, stacked high on pallet displays and end caps. Just in time for the big show. That crisp Diet Coke taste with a bold cherry twist. Perfect for game night, family night, or anytime you want something refreshing without the sugar. But don't wait. This is a Hy-Vee customer favorite, so get yours today.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
Hey Jays fans, it's hoop season and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vest, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort, and we've been in business for 6 decades, and in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you, and that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Controlled Comfort keeps it under control.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
You're listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
.643 on a Monday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. If you're looking for the ideal college experience this fall, head over to bellevue.edu. Register for classes, become a Bruin. Tonight, Bill Moose has written a book about his time in college athletics and specifically about his time at Nebraska. And he's had a lot to say about his former head coach, specifically Scott Frost. And he talked about in his first meeting, Matt Davidson unexpectedly sat in the meeting and how he, and listen, if you remember correctly, Bill Moose thanked Matt Davidson for all he did to help get Scott Frost to Nebraska in the first place. But he mentioned that his wife, Kendra, also, his being Bill Moose's wife, also sat in the meeting with Scott Frost. And when he left, it's a direct quote from Bill Moose's wife, Kendra, to Bill Moose in his book. He's not ready. Too immature is what his wife said after her meeting Scott Frost for the first time. Now, this is Bill Moose's book, and he's got the ability to write whatever he wants. But this is allegedly his response. Yep, I agree, but if I don't pursue him with everything I've got, he ends up at Tennessee or Florida, and I'm screwed. Kendra's rebuttal was, yeah, but if you bring Nebraska's golden boy home and he falls flat on his face, you're really screwed. Remember, people who have short-term memories. I 100% agree with this being written at this time in hindsight, but think about all of the fanfare that went into getting Scott Frost to come back to Lincoln. Bill Moose got hired for one job, and it wasn't to hire a football coach. It was to hire this football coach.
Yep.
He was the National Coach of the Year, turned around an 0-12 program to go 12-0. And I wholeheartedly agree with his sentiment. And he's clearly right. He would have been screwed a lot faster if he wouldn't have got Frost to come here. If they fall short of getting Scott Frost to come back to Nebraska, Bill Moose is out of Lincoln the next year.
At that stage of the game, if Bill Moose does anything but tell Nebraska fans Scott Frost is coming home, he's run out on a rail. And it almost doesn't even matter.
You might not even need the rail.
Listen, it doesn't even matter if Scott Frost had gone to Florida and failed.
Nope. Because it would have worked here.
Yes.
It didn't work because he went to Florida.
Absolutely. Like this is the thing that people from the outside don't understand is like this fan base for Nebraska football is so intensely passionate and believes so strongly that they are just one coach away from being back to being on the Mount Rushmore of college football year in and year out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always that one guy that we either didn't get, or that one guy who chose to go somewhere else, or there's always something, right? And everybody here believed, for the most part. I mean, there were outliers.
Not very many.
Not many. but it was a common belief, at least among the fan base, maybe not against, some of the people who had inside knowledge and pundits and insider information. The fan base believed that Scott Frost was the answer, that he had been groomed at Oregon, that he had gotten his head coaching experience at UCF, and it was all in service of coming back to Nebraska and turning this program back into what it was meant to be.
There were people that wanted Scott Frost hired when Mike Riley got hired.
When he was just an OC at Oregon.
It was like he was always the break glass in case of emergency guy. Yep. Well, if it doesn't work out for this person, we can always go get Scott Frost.
And what was the refrain when Scott Frost got hired? That you not heard from not everybody, but heard from a lot of folks.
He was just 2 years into being head coach.
No.
Oh.
If it doesn't work with Frost, it's not going to work with anybody. Right? It's just absolutely insane and not true. But that was the pervading belief. And if Bill Moose had come out and said to the Nebraska fan base, look, I know you like the guy. I interviewed him. I don't think he's a fit. They might have lit Bill Moose on fire at that press conference.
Without a question, yeah. There was also the rumor, and again, this is Bill Moose writing this book. There's no fact check here or anything, but like
it's his story.
Yeah.
So you take it with the same amount of grains of salt that you take anyone telling you something sitting on a bar stool.
There's a lot of discussion about about Nebraska possibly returning to the Big 12 and that maybe being a done deal. And I think there's a lot of people around here that would enjoy that because there is still some of the Big 8 aspect to the Big 12. And at that time, obviously, Texas and Oklahoma were still in the conference. I don't want to call Bill Moose a liar. That's not what I'm here to do. I just think from a financial standpoint,
dumb.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, if the thought process is we're eventually going to enter the NIL era or we need more money discussion, and travel for our other sports is going to far exceed what we're going to generate in revenue from the Big Ten, the Big Ten Network, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, I'll hear you out. But from a national perception standpoint, that's a really bad move.
Very bad. That is a step backwards from national perception. And it's a step backward in terms of your finances, and it's a step backward in terms of your competition and your commitment to football. Like, it's just every area at this point. Maybe it wasn't this way always, but at this point, moving from the Big 10 to the Big 12 is saying, we don't want to compete.
Well, and this is allegedly in the response to why they were trying to cancel the Oklahoma game, because it was going to be a conference game at that point, right? So this is also an ability to maybe try to save face in that discussion, but I don't know if this makes you look any better.
Well, there's a section in there in the book about Moose trying to convince Scott Frost to abandon the idea of canceling the Oklahoma game, and then Scott Frost going above his head
to Ronnie Green
and Ted Carter and Jim Pillen and saying, and then Moose saying he gets a call from Ronnie Green instructing him to cancel the Oklahoma game, and basically indicating that Scott Frost had gone behind his back and above his head to get done what he was asking to get
the Board
done.
Of Regents, by the way.
Yeah. When his athletic director had told him, no, we're not doing that. The fans are going to hate it. They're going to chastise you for running away from Oklahoma.
Guess what happened? He got chastised for trying to run away from Oklahoma. Yep. I think there's always a part of me that wonders how much buyer's remorse Nebraska has had for making the move to the Big Ten. They've clearly benefited from it from a financial standpoint.
Yeah.
But from the early onset, it has felt like a square peg in a round hole.
Did you ever have an old car that you really loved to drive?
Yeah.
But it didn't have the technology upgrades of a new car? But you just loved driving it. It just, you had that spot worn into the seat where your butt just fit perfectly. And you always knew, like, just the right crank to get it to start on the first turn. and you had that spot worn into the floor where your foot just sat perfectly to press on the gas pedal, but the radio didn't work because it was old.
Brett Yarmark put it in.
That's the relationship of Nebraska with the Big 12 and the Big 10. It's like the new car has all the bells and whistles. It is fantastic. It is a speed machine, right? The old car just felt more comfy.
Yeah.
You were comfortable there.
Well, there's also the conversation I don't think anybody wants to have. What happens if you go back to the Big 12 and you have the same problems?
Well, I think you would.
Are you
have
happy?
The same problems?
That's the point I'm trying to make here, especially with everything.
I don't know if it's a question. I think the problems are systemic, not anything else.
And I say that because think about everything we're just talking about. If you have a dynamic in your university, and I don't think this is unique to Bill Moose and Scott Frost, where the head coach is going to the athletic director is going back to the head coach, and then somebody else above them gets involved, that's not healthy.
Well, and look, here's the, like, everything else is hearsay, right? Everything in the book is one man's story of what happened.
That's a great point.
The thing that I want to know is that if it's the only thing really that I want to know if it's true or not is the amount that Bill Moose is claiming that the chancellor, the president, and the board of regents were inserting themselves into football operations. Like, how true is that? That's what I want to know. Because if the way Bill Moose is putting this, and the chancellor, the president, and the board of regents are inserting themselves into football operations, like day-to-day stuff, as much as he claims that they were, I can tell you where the problems are.
Yeah, well, it'd be kind of hard.
I can tell you exactly where the problems with this program are and why it hasn't been able to be turned around by anyone.
It'd be kind of hard to see think about all the dysfunction that we just talked about. It's kind of hard not to believe that to some degree, right? Like, there has to be. Think about all the guys that have been rotated in and out of those two chairs we just talked about, the head coach and the athletic director. And it kind of feels like same story, new book.
Yep.
It'd be kind of hard not to believe that.
It is shocking. Like, the things about the book that are most shocking are not the little salacious details about his relationship with Scott Frost.
Mm-hmm.
That's not it.
Those were actually pretty obvious.
It's the things about the organization of the athletic department and its relationship to the university at large, and how those things were unable to live in the same space and combine for a common goal. Like, if that stuff is true, look no further.
I also know it's a conversation that people don't want to have in this state too, but you had a guy that was a native son that was from here, that was the athletic director, that openly chose to leave.
Mm.
And I know he's been painted as the villain, and there's a lot of people that have their opinions about Trev Alberts.
Sure.
But it kind of felt like he came out of nowhere, and it felt like he was happy to go. There's got to be a disconnect somewhere.
Yeah, it's like, if you want to know, like, why organizations fail, it's usually not the people at the bottom.
No, that's a great point. It's a great point. I am ready to dive more into this book. I would just advise everybody with what you said. This has been written by the opinion of one person and one person's story.
There's a lot of caveats here. Like, if this is true, if that is true.
I also think, like, and especially that article, the article of conversation about Scott Frost's maturity level. There are some words in there that I promise whoever the ghostwriter on this book is probably threw in for dramatic effect. Yeah. And just, there's probably a little bit of that too. So, hey, if you missed our thoughts on Bill Moose and his new book, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. Notice it's been getting warmer outside. You know what's going to happen in a couple weeks. We're in fall spring, folks. It's going to get cold again. It's time to get the maintenance appointment on your HVAC setup while you don't need it. That's right. Have peace of mind about your furnace. In about 10 days, you're going to have to click it back on. So feel good about it when you have to. Head over to controlledcomfort.com. Work with Tony and the team. Get a maintenance appointment set up tonight. We're going to find out what's trending on social media. Get Dan Campion's thoughts on life. 1620 Zone.
What's up, everybody? John here for Paul Davis Restoration. And you know what? It's the big meltdown. Things are going to start to happen. There has been aerial flood watches in the area. Yeah, that could be you. Ice jams can cause flooding. And if you get water damage at your house, what are you going to do? You're going to call this number, 402-553-0373, because Paul Davis will be out to your home in a flash, getting that damage fixed up and having your home back to the way it was before any of that stuff happened. Water damage, smoke damage, mold mitigation, whatever it is, they can help you out with that. Give them a call at 402-553-0373. It's Paul Davis Restoration.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Hey Jays fans, it's hoop season and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vest, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Howdy, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission, and time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Hey, time to get out of the house. Enjoy Nebraska's many state parklands on those nice days when we get them. Grounds are open for all kinds of outdoor recreation. You just need to bring your own water, have a current state park permit, and bring along some money for those camping fees if you want to camp out. I always say, park it in a park. By the way, you can get lots of information on the Nebraska State Parks online through the Game and Parks website, outdoornebraska.gov. Question: are you venturing outdoors this time of year? Ooh, if so, file a plan with somebody that you know and trust, telling them at least where you're going, when you're due back, assemble a survival kit, carry a first aid kit, tote your smartphone to record a voicemail location, and pack an extra set of warm clothing in a trash bag or a dry bag just in case. Please be safe out there. I'm Greg Wagner.
Winter may slow pests down, but it's the perfect time to prepare your home for spring. Rodents, spiders, and other pests often show up indoors this time of year. A winter pest control checkup helps seal entry points now so you're not dealing with pests when warmer weather hits. At Recon Pest Services, we're proud to be a local company and supporting causes that make Omaha better. If you're looking for a pest control partner or even support for a cause, think Recon. Visit reconpestservices.com and get your home ready for a pest-free spring.
This is the Chef of Love, Chef Jannard, TV host and restaurateur. My grandparents harvested their land to sell food and share this overflowing bounty with our community. Grandma said, for every yam we pick, we give one away. In the world they cultivated, I love preparing and eating dinner with my family on Sundays. When our resources changed, food assistance programs sustained us. They gave me fuel to start my first culinary business at 16 years old, and inspiration to donate the extra food in my community. Through my life, I've developed an appetite to work with others to ensure everyone has access to the nutritious food we need to thrive. Together, we can help end hunger. Come on, join the movement with Feeding America by volunteering, donating, and advocating. Learn more at feedingamerica.org/act now.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Wrapping up the first hour here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. Head over to bellevue.edu, register for classes. No school on Friday. The majority of your schooling done online, and live sports right on campus for you to root on. Check out bellevue.edu for more details tonight. Surprisingly quiet this evening has been Dan Campanen.
There's been a lot going on this side of the desk.
This is where we force him to talk to you. It's a social media soundbite time. Dan, what do you got?
Can't force me to do anything. I'm relieved.
It finally worked.
We did it, guys. We did it. There are a lot of ways to lose a golf tournament. An errant shot.
Let Jimmy Allen play.
You could just hit a guy with your golf ball, a la the old Tiger Woods commercial. Yeah, or you could just, get into a physical altercation with any one of the many people who were there. Hideki Matsuyama
famously
figured out what I might argue is the worst way to lose a golf tournament. Let's hear what happened, and I'll explain the aftermath. He's preparing for the shot at this point. So, right as Hideki Matsuyama is taking his backswing, getting prepared for what could quite possibly be his final tee shot of the entire round, considering that he is now in a playoff hole to try and win the Waste Management Open, a security guard drops a chair in the middle of his backswing.
Oof.
Matsuyama then backs off the ball, readdresses, spanks it right into the water.
That sucks.
And loses the playoff hole due to the fact that obviously, taking the penalty stroke and all that. At that point, I think he was even up first. So I think the guy who he was playing against got her up, kind of gave him a little pat on the back and said, "This isn't how I wanted to win."
Dan, if you don't mind, I'm going to take this in a different direction. I'm going to keep it adjacent to what you brought up for the social
I wouldn't be
media
surprised if you didn't take it in a different direction.
Do you have a weird story for how you've lost a sporting event or a competition?
Yes, I do. I actually do.
Okay, give it to me. Let's compare horror stories.
So it was my
I'm sure we all have one.
My sophomore year wrestling season, right? I'll check in the morning. We're getting on the bus to go to a tournament. Check in the morning. Everybody goes into high school, weighs in.
Right.
I'm on weight. We get on the bus. Drive. I don't even remember where we were. I don't remember which school we had the tournament. It might have been Wayne.
Okay.
We drive all the way to Wayne. Get there. We're doing weigh-ins. My weight's called. We go to weigh in. I step up on the scale. You're disqualified. I said, "What?
Why?
Why am I disqualified?" Because there's a ringworm on your shoulder.
Oh no!
Yep. Nobody had noticed it. I didn't notice it. I had a ringworm infection, and when I stepped on the scale, they saw it, and no one had noticed it. Not when I checked in and weighed in at the school in the morning.
Thing that happens to wrestlers.
It happens to wrestlers. It's a thing.
I've had that happen, but not when I was up on the scale.
Nope, stepped on the scale and got immediately disqualified from the tournament.
I have a not a John Schreiner, not a Hideki Matsuyama kind of story. Played baseball at Riverview Little League. We were getting ready to play a South Omaha Baseball Association team that was undefeated. We were at home. I think I've told you the story. We were up 6-5 heading into the sixth inning, and there was this clearly 16-year-old high school player sitting in the stands rooting on his brother on the team, and they needed a run, and they bring this kid into the game to play against these, I think we're 10-11, and this kid's got a mustache on his face, and not like, hey, he's of a certain demographic and you get facial hair faster type situation. No, like he had hit puberty and had a squirrel on his face. And this kid comes in and he hits a home run over the fence, and I'm pretty sure the ball still hasn't landed. And they go on to win the game. And like this coach and these parents lived with this. And I just wonder what happens. And listen, if you were on the other team and you're hearing this story, I'd love to hear what the conversation was like in the other dugout, because we played them like 3 weeks later, and I'm listening to this coach brag about the situation to the umpire who's supposed to be calling our game, and they're sitting there laughing about it together. And I was like looking back on this now as a 36-year-old man, I'm like, who hurt you in life to make this happen? Dan, do you have a fascinating I lost a sporting event or a competition because of this? Like, was there a best dressed 60-year-old man contest that you lost because of bad pants or something?
No. I can't remember one where like we lost in like specifically like embarrassing or like wild fashion.
Sure.
I mean, my high school football program wasn't really that good, but that was never really amazing.
Jay Lance from 402-951-1620.
They're better now. They're a lot better now. Jay, they're a lot better now. Back when I played, it was either we won 14-7 once a year, if that.
Who'd you beat? I know you know who it was.
It was always Nebraska City.
Okay.
And then the worst one, actually, you know what? The worst one ever is
1620 doesn't make it all the way up to Nebraska City. Throw all the shade you want, Dan.
All right. So this is the worst one ever. So it was my junior year of high school. It was, we used to take our like regular old yellow school bus.
Yeah.
To go on these trips. And so
didn't everybody?
That's my question.
2 or 3 of the dads at Mount Michael were like, we're getting these kids like one of like those nice buses,
like
because it was
bus?
like a late game that you had to like, we had to bus back, and they were like, these kids are probably going to want to sleep on the bus. And it's for the Nebraska City game. We got this on lock. No chance we lose. We go there. And I remember there was something in like the third quarter. It was quarterback gets sacked, fumbles the ball, recovered by Nebraska City. They score. I think we literally lose 14-7 just because we couldn't get anything going. And this was the worst part of it all. They were like, all right, well, we have food here for you so you can eat after the game now before we get back on this bus. It was the same night as Nebraska City's homecoming. And if you know anything about small town high schools and where their gyms are,
they do it big.
They're right next the cafeteria and the gym where they're having their homecoming at, right next to each other.
So you had to sit there and watch homecoming after you just lost a football game, eating food?
Yes.
That sounds awful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nothing to soothe your losses, like from the windows to the walls.
Yeah.
Till the tears fall down my face.
Yeah. What was the dinner? Do you remember what you ate?
Blimpie.
Nice.
It's always Blimpie.
Blimpie's still a thing.
Yeah, it's still a thing.
Nice. All right. Hey, well, if you want to relive our horror stories from our youth, you can do so at our Radio Replay page at 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Recon Pest Services. You don't have to have a horror story about pest control if you make the right decision. The right decision is to head over to reconpestservices.com tonight. I'm sure you started to notice the temperatures going up. They continue to go up in this room right now, but if you started to see some critters crawling out of holes in your yard, didn't know where they came from, prevent them from getting into your house at reconpestservices.com tonight. We'll hear more from Dan Campen, and we buy or sell on the other side of the break. 1620 Zone. Hey, but it's Jimmy Allen here for AX Plumbing. Home or residential, they can do it all. And you probably ask yourself, Jimmy Allen, how do you know that? I know that because they've done it all for me. They've come out and personally installed a urinal at my business. They've come out, they fixed a wax ring underneath my toilet at my house. They've also water jetted my entire line out to the street, so we don't have to worry about backups ever again at my house. If you're worried about big-time plumbing problems but don't have a big-time plumbing budget, head over to axpservice.com tonight. There's also financing available on the website as well. Check out axpservice.com. Work with Nick and the crew tonight.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit OmahaSignsAndWraps.com tonight. That's OmahaSignsAndWraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win.
At Timber, they don't just give you a place to go for lunch or dinner. They give you an experience. From their bold, smoky flavors prepared in the open concept kitchen where you get to watch the magic happen, to the relaxing umbrella-shaded patio. There's something for everyone at Timber. Join them for brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 to 2, plus happy hour from 2 to 5:30 Monday through Saturday, and 2 to close on Sunday. Timberwood Fire Bistro in the heart of Omaha at 84th and Pacific.
Howdy, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission, and time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. Hey, time to get out of the house. Enjoy Nebraska's many state parklands on those nice days when we get them. Grounds are open for all kinds of outdoor recreation. You just need to bring your own water, have a current state park permit, and bring along some money for those camping fees if you want to camp out. I always say, park it in a park. By the way, you can get lots of information on the Nebraska State Parks online through the Game and Parks website, outdoornebraska.gov. Question: are you venturing outdoors this time of year? Ooh, if so, file a plan with somebody that you know and trust, telling them at least where you're going, when you're due back, assemble a survival kit, carry a first aid kit, tote your smartphone to record a voicemail location, and pack an extra set of warm clothing in a trash bag or a dry bag just in case. Please be safe out there. I'm Greg Wagner.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
$7:15 on a Monday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by our friends at Bellevue University. Download your BU Bruins app to your smartphone to keep up to date on all the championship action happening on Bellevue's campus. Tonight, Dan Campinen has by ourselves for us.
Indeed, I do. I also want everyone to see our beautiful faces. We have been covering the situation very closely in the lounge. Charles Bediako,
John's boy.
He is no
I am
longer
real mad.
allowed to play for Alabama as the NCAA has denied his injunction, with Charlie Baker even saying it's a win for the good guys. But buy or sell, it's good to see the NCAA finally get a win.
May I?
Go for it.
This is a loss for everybody. The fact that we got subjected to this guy got to play and come back, and there are games that we watched with our own two eyes where it happened, does not get swept under the rug now because they said, you don't get to do this anymore. This is a total loss by everybody. The system, the player, the fans involved, L across the board.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but this is the correct decision.
That I agree with. They just made the wrong one first.
Yeah, it's the trouble is, like, in situations like this, you have to let the legal process play out. And so
do you, or do you go, no, this is stupid, and we're a private entity, and we say no?
Yeah, I understand that. But, like, when someone brings a lawsuit and says, hey, I think I've been wronged and I should be allowed to do this, the tendency is to lean in favor of liberty, right? In favor
Fair.
of allowing. And that's good. That's the way a society, I think, should operate. The trouble is when you have people who are trying to abuse that system, which is exactly what was going on here. The lawyer, Charles Bediaco, the University of Alabama, they knew that was what was going to happen, and they were going to be allowed to have him play without an official court case being allowed to play out because it's too lengthy and everything. So they just got the initial injunction, which got him on the roster and allowed him to play for a bit. Now the secondary, like the appeal of the injunction is what this was, and it was denied. So he's out. He can't play now, but he was allowed to play for a little while because of the way our system works. And I think that that's generally a good thing. It's just that it was abused in this case.
Sometimes in life, we just got to be able to go, this is not right, and this is affecting people poorly.
Sure.
This was also bad for Charles Bediaco because it was pretty readily apparent that it was eventually going to run its case and not go well for him. For his standpoint, I guess I'm happy that he got to be able to do this because he felt like he should, but it was clearly not the right thing.
No, it's absolutely violating the spirit of everything that college sports is about. And if you want to debate what the spirit of college sports is, that's fine. I'll have that debate with you. You're probably going to lose though. But there's a line. There has to be a line somewhere. And that line is once you of your own free will leave and go play professional sports, you don't get to come back again. I feel like we're taking crazy pills.
Amateurism is dead.
Famously. Dan, what else we got?
Rumor alert. The NBA Board of Governors is allegedly going to vote to expand the league by 2 teams, with Las Vegas and Seattle being the most likely destination cities. Buy or sell. This is expansion time for the NBA.
Is it expansion if you're going back to a city you already left that you had no business pulling out of in the first place, and you should just admit you were wrong? You should have just
nobody liked the Kingdom.
You should have just expanded to Oklahoma City, kept the Sonics in Seattle. This is sure. I don't get who this is for either. Remember how we just talked about the league sucking last week?
Yeah, let's spread the talent even thinner.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, this means opportunities for 2 more trades for whoever the next draft class is.
Hey-o. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like all the way out on the NBA right now.
I'm with you.
I don't know. It's
I have a feeling our producer does not feel the same way.
It's I don't know. Sure, why not? Expand it. Who cares? I'll buy. This is expansion time. It's as good as any, I guess.
Yeah. Sure, you can expand the NBA. I don't think you need 2. You only need 1. And if I'm being 100% completely honest, Seattle is the only place that I want to see an NBA team. Las Vegas does not need an NBA team. You know who wants an NBA team in Las Vegas more than anybody else?
Las Vegas?
Mr. LeBron James and Rich Paul and Mav Carter. Congratulations on your ownership, guys. You guys are going to have a team in probably about 2.5 years. LeBron, you're going to be retired, so you're going to be managing a basketball team. It's what we all wanted. It's what we all saw. He's been talking about this for years now. It's like Mark Davis and LeBron James partner up to own a WNBA franchise, which, to be fair, Mark Davis is the right person to own an NBA franchise because he has done so much good stuff already with the Las Vegas Aces. It's just Vegas does not need another sports team. I don't see it.
I'm really surprised because, listen, if you go to Vegas during hockey season or WNBA season, that town loves those 2 teams. They love the Golden Knights. They love the Aces because they're organically theirs, right?
Yeah.
I'm really surprised with the A's move that they're willing to try this out because of how much backlash there was. Now, listen, there's also the fact that the A's sucked. Nobody wanted them in Oakland either, and this is going to be theirs. But it kind of feels like they're thinning the line, for the fan base calling for this in Vegas. I'm a little surprised they even want to do this.
Well, I think the Vegas part of it, all goes towards that kind of cities, they're trying to do the face change right now, where it used to be, hey man, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And now they're like, no, Vegas is a lot more than just casinos and shows and
hookers,
the weird stuff that happens on the strip
illegal.
at night. They're trying to turn it into more of a family friendly adult Disney World-esque type area. And I just don't know if only sports teams are what you can get to lure people there.
Listen, Neil Diamond can't sing for that much longer, right? Is Neil Diamond dead? I don't even know.
No, he's alive.
All right.
He's very much alive. He just there's actually a show coming to our Orpheum Theater.
There you go.
That is based on his life and his music that he apparently said okay to.
So what else we got, Dan?
Clint Kubiak, speaking of Las Vegas, is officially the coach of the Raiders. He's going there with a shiny new ring. Buy or sell, Kubiak is the one to turn Vegas around.
I buy. I think he's got something that Vegas needs. If there's such a thing as turning the Las Vegas Raiders around, it'll be Clint Kubiak to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you saw what he was able to do with what he had in Seattle. You can argue he was part of the construction of that as well. I don't know at this point who else it was going to be. It was pretty readily apparent that you were getting Seattle's offensive coordinator. And I think a lot of the reason he's getting this is what we opened the show up with, talking about turning Sam Darnold around. Like, if you can do that, you can do anything, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what he does with a fresh canvas, right? They're going to get a brand new quarterback, clearly, for Fernando Mendoza. And can he build around them? And what does it look like without Mike McDonald calling the defense?
Hey.
We'll find out. Dan?
Adam Gase. He's back. He'll be joining the Chargers as a passing game. I don't know why I put
coordinator
experience, but I did mean coordinator. Buy or sell, it's good to see Gase coming out of hiding.
Sell. He was terrible. Do we not remember 29-20? 2019-20, I mean? Like, the Jets were awful.
Sell, because
the Dolphins were awful.
I haven't thought about Adam Gase. I don't care. Why?
What took 6 years, by the way? I mean, I know he was doing some sort of commentary somewhere, but
I'm going to guess it was probably because he was bad.
It was exactly because he was
don't
bad.
Understand why he's back. Like, who ordered this, Jim Harbaugh?
I don't know. Jim Harbaugh likes to give people chances. He is a Jim Harbaugh guy. All right, last one. Men's ice hockey is getting the late start in this year's Olympics, but the women are already letting it rip. They beat Switzerland today 5-0.
USA.
With
USA,
no multi-goal
USA.
scorers. Next up, Canada. Buy or sell, we have a chance against our neighbors to the north.
Always have a chance.
Blood
They always have a chance against the neighbors to the north. I think the USA women's hockey is going for gold this year.
I do too.
Put it on the board.
Yep, I'm with you. Put it on the list. I think I don't think they lose, and I think they kick the Canadian butt. Eh?
I'd believe it. 2 years in a row wouldn't be that much of a surprise to me. Caroline Harvey.
Well, they didn't play the Olympics last year, Dan.
Well, 2 Olympic, whatever. Actually, technically, you want to do this right now?
Sure.
You want to do this right now?
Probably not.
So actually, this would actually, if they win the Olympics, this would actually be 3 years in a row.
Fair enough.
Because
That's
they've
fair
won
point.
the world championships the last 2 years prior to this. You know what those are? Not Olympic years. But it would be 2 Olympics in a row that they have won the gold medal. But Caroline Harvey, surprisingly, has been sort of the star, I think, for this USA team, this Olympics. She's one of the least experienced probably people on this team, but she's been closing it out really good, and they've been laying it on real heavy-handed this year. It just seems that our American ladies have a little something extra in ice hockey. Who would have thunk it that a bunch of girls from Coppell, Texas, apparently
famously big hockey town.
Yeah. And then all over the upper parts of our United States would be really good at hockey, who all went to Wisconsin, Minnesota, UMD, and like 3 Clarkson grads.
Well, can they get it done against Canadians? We'll find out. If you missed Buy or Sell tonight, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. You always need somebody you can count on when you're in need, and Controlled Comfort can be that for you. We were 1,000 miles away from our home when our air conditioner took a dive. If you need somebody that you can trust in your home Well, you're not even in the state. You need Controlled Comfort. Head over to controlledcomfort.com. Get the maintenance appointment set up with Tony and the team so you don't have to break glass in case of emergency. But if you do, Controlled Comfort is here. Check out controlledcomfort.com tonight. 201. How many days you have till football? What can you do in that time? We debate. 1620 zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy out here for Aloe Fiber. We made the switch 2 years ago to Aloe Fiber. And you know what we got when we made the switch? Reliable service, great customer service experiences, and internet you can count on. We have an all-fiber network right up to our home. We don't share our network with our neighbors. When my kids hop on their tablets or my wife is watching Real Housewives or I'm just sitting there trying to do some research for the show, none of us get bogged down by the rest of us using our internet connection. If you want speeds like that, you need to get over to aloefiber.com tonight. Check out aloefiber.com/Husker Radio and get out of the Stone Age.
Weather from KETV Newswatch 7 is brought to you on 1620 The Zone by Certified Transmission.
Partly cloudy tonight, turning breezy and a little bit cooler. Low temperature down in the lower 30s, and then partly cloudy, breezy, and somewhat cooler Tuesday. Highs in the lower 50s. Partly sunny skies for Wednesday. High again in the low 50s. I am Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV Newswatch 7.
If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit OmahaSignsAndWraps.com tonight. That's OmahaSignsAndWraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win.
Rail Cars Happy Hour is here. Stop by 144th and Blondo Monday through Saturday from 2:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday from 2 to close, and enjoy $2 to $5 off appetizers, $1 off draft and bottles of beer, and delicious ciders. All signature cocktails are $10. Classic cocktails are $8. And every glass of wine is $2 off. Plus, Rail Cars' incredible brunch menu is on display 9:30 to 2 Saturday and Sunday. Rail Car Modern American Kitchen, 144th and Blondo.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
Hey, Jays fans, it's hoop season, and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vests, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays for men and women. Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny L. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort. And we've been in business for 6 decades. And in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity. Because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you. And that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
As you start your official vacation from football, the saddest Monday of the year. Still cold outside. Does look a dark earlier, 65. Still
does get darker, but less and less so. It was still light at 5:30. It's not at 7. Well, no, that would happen until like June.
Then we'll start. So how are you going to spend your day away?
201 day. Well, 200 days now, really.
Yeah,
this
listen,
one's almost done.
You made it through one. Congratulations. You made it
200 days
one day
until a
down.
meaningful football game on August 28th, which is the start of the college football season.
So I ask you that to ask you this. We talked, was it 2 weeks ago, about the 34-day layoff between the end of college football season and the college football second round, which some teams obviously would have that much time between the beginning and the end.
Play one game in 40 days.
Does it make sense from that standpoint of we're trying to elongate the football season to give you longer time with football in your life? Like, does that, like, obviously it's stupid and we can all agree that a 40-day layoff is ridiculous, but can you kind of side with the evil empire that is the college football playoff committee to understand their logical thinking when we talk about the dog days of February / the summer?
I can't remember who said it, but it was like, it's the 2038 college football season. The national championship game finally finishes at midnight on July 31st. And the offseason lasts 12 hours as Notre Dame and Northwestern kick off at the Aviva Stadium on August 1st.
You joke, but it kind of feels like that's what they're going for. I will always be a thoughts process guy, and from this standpoint, it does kind of make sense. But the problem is there's 105 guys on a team.
There's human beings.
Yeah, that have to kind of navigate the waters of that time period of not playing or practicing.
Well, it's like when you think about what happens in the English Premier League in a World Cup year, right? They start the season in August. They play all the way until May. And then those players who are playing for their country go right into training camp for the World Cup, which usually starts in July and plays until August. And then they start the next Premier League season again.
Which is why there's so many breaks between the World Cup
years. They play straight through for 18 months.
What is this, AAU basketball?
It's insane what happens to those players who play for their country and play in a major European league. They play
a local
from
guy that's trying to do a money grab from kids.
From 1 August to not the next May, the May after that, they're basically playing straight through. It's nuts.
Kind of reminds me of how it would feel to be a senior in college and to be a top women's basketball prospect and to have the final game of your season get over. And then I actually found out this is exactly what it is. It's 48 hours that if you are going to declare for the WNBA draft, you have 48 hours to do so.
Can we talk about the real problem here? It is the content that needs to be created, right? Like, this is why we're doing this. We're creating talking points for talking shows. We're trying to get garner ratings. We're trying to win the arms race of television network battles.
Yep.
And
we found out that alternative football leagues don't move the needle. We've discovered that already.
But and I guess that's the point I'm trying to make is like, what makes football special the fact that you miss it? Like, I can't miss you if you never go away, right?
Yeah.
Football goes away, as you just mentioned, for over 200 days. And it gives you that build-up period to where, oh, my team is undefeated this year. We can hang a national championship for an off-season banner. Yep. Like, there's so much, like, there's a lot of negative optimism around Nebraska football right now.
Negative
pessimism. There's pessimism around Nebraska football right now, which I guess technically would be negative optimism.
I don't know.
Wow. That's
optimism in the other direction.
Yeah, let's go ahead and save that as a drop, I guess. There's obviously pessimism and negativity around this program right now, which is what I think I was trying to say. But we know by the end of the spring game, into the fall camp, there's going to be some. It's like, no, Nebraska's going 10-2 this year. Matt Rule's got it figured out.
He sits in that chair right across from me.
I'll be here on August 1st to let you know.
But I understand the thought process of if we have more games, we have more eyes on the product. If we extend the season, we have more people talking about our league or our program or whatever.
People are talking about it all year round anyway, bud.
And that's what makes the game special. Like, listen, I'm never going to clamor for less football. But I really think that the reason, listen, the product on the field's got a lot to do with the spring football thing failing too. But there's people that watch really bad MAC teams on Tuesday nights in November. Like it's
something different about it, and I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what it is.
It's established brands. Could you name 6 UFL teams right now?
The Stallions.
Yeah. No, you can't. Could you name 6 MAC schools off the top of your head?
Yeah, of course.
It's an established product. You know what you're watching. You understand it's
but
bad.
It's also like that's when I November is when I expect to be watching MAC football in the middle of the week.
But I think
October is when I expect to be watching MAC football in the middle of the week. I don't expect to be watching, UFL on a Sunday in April. Like, that's not football time. My body doesn't know that I need to watch football at this time. I'm not used to it.
Why am I not?
I'm not
chicken
accustomed
wings
to
right
this.
Now? Why is it not cold outside?
This is not time for football.
No, and I think that's a lot of it too. I just think there's it's being presented as pro football, and then you turn it on, and go, this ain't pro football, and B, the lack of
this
established
is like college
brands.
football into half.
Yeah, if that. I'm sad football's over. I'm even more sad that the Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl. Felt real gross rooting for them last night for financial gain, but I think it's the appropriate amount of time. I think pro football has it figured out. The appropriate amount of time that we need football.
And look, man, I need some Saturdays and Sundays to play golf.
Fair.
I need that. I need some days when I don't
be a father.
When I'm not compelled to watch football. Well, playing golf is part of being a father.
Fair,
Okay,
fair.
I involve the progeny in the golf. Like, this is what we do. So no, I think it is good. It's good for maintaining a healthy marriage. It's good for the golf game. It's good for just like getting off the couch and being outside.
Yeah, it's a plus. What's your favorite non-football season activity?
My favorite football off-season activity.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple. It's always like it's the summer, right? So golf is obviously way up there. But it's also like just being outside with the boy and throwing the baseball around, doing outdoor stuff, camping, going on road trips.
I think I'm gonna take Ruth camping for the first time this
Oh,
year.
yeah,
Pretty excited about that.
That's good stuff, man.
Favorite off-season hobby that doesn't involve football?
That doesn't involve football.
Because obviously you own the Green Bay Packers.
And grilling.
Yeah,
I mean grilling.
During the summer,
Hell yeah.
I mean,
I grilled wings last night. Super Bowl.
All I'm doing during the summer is I'm making my, weekly trip up to Green Bay. And I'm, having talks with other people who are in the ownership group and saying, come on, guys, this
You're
is
scouting players.
This is what we can do this year. Yeah.
Is it this year? Is it the year to cut Matt LaFleur? I get it. But like other than that,
a lot of golf.
Gotta post the meme now.
I play a lot of golf. And then once summer rolls around, usually the fly box is full by that point in time. I mean, fly tying season now is
peak.
It's going to expand.
Yeah.
Now that I'm not sitting and watching football or having to pay attention to anything, it's going to go crazy.
Are you still going to produce the sports talk radio show, Dan? So pay attention to some stuff.
I go fly fishing quite a bit over the summer, no matter where I can go. Got a couple trips planned, hopefully this summer. We'll see what happens. But yeah, golf, go on hikes. Be present in my marriage.
What about you? What are you doing?
I own a Jeep, and the guy that lives across the street from me owns like 6 Jeeps. And he's been talking about this trip that they take to Arizona every year.
Arizona?
To just go off-roading.
Yeah.
I think I want to participate in this.
Good buddy of mine is in a Jeep club, and they do a lot of that stuff too.
What if they're in the same club? Who knows? Hey,
they go to the one in Manhattan, Kansas. What's it called? There's an ORV park there, and they go to out to Utah also.
Well, you know what it means that you know what it means now that football season's over. It's time for the way too early football power index from ESPN, and the NFL power rankings came out today. We're going to break those down. We're going to tell you where your favorite team is and all that more when we come back on the other side of the break. If you missed this segment, check it out on our radio replay page at 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Yes, football season is over. Do you know what that means? Wedding season is here. If your biggest day, or maybe you're just involved in a wedding, is here, and you're talking to the groom, and they're like, let's go to a different crappy place we can rent our tux from. Don't do that. Buy your tux. Buy it at Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. I got my tux there for my wedding. Dan got his tux for his wedding there. Get your suit for your big day at Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. They've been dressing Omaha for over 50 years. Who are the top 5 in the power rankings from ESPN today? We'll tell you. 1620 zone.
Hey, everybody, it's John here for the fine folks at Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village. Look, if you're looking for a romantic dinner, and who isn't, it's February, you might need to get a reservation. I don't even know if they have reservations available. I've been telling you to do this for weeks now. If you haven't done it by now, you might be out of luck, but you can still give them a call. You can check. Maybe you can even get in for a little early fancy romantic dinner. And I'm telling you, Pasta Amore is the place to do it. Great atmosphere. Great location in Rockbrook Village, and the food, second to none. We have tried so many of the things on the menu now at Pasta Amore, and just looking up and down this thing, lasagna, fantastic. All of the seafood dishes, the filet, the risotto, everything we have tried has been absolutely fantastic. Plus, I'm telling you, the appetizers, oh boy, you're going to want to start with some of the appetizers, the bruschetta, the garlic bread. If you're into, some nice Italian meats, try the butcher board, everything on this menu. You can close your eyes and point. It's going to be great. Get into Pasta Amore and try some of their great wines as well while you're at it. Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Diet Coke Cherry is making a return, and Chesterman Coca-Cola is bringing the flavor back to Omaha. Find Diet Coke Cherry 12-packs right now at Hy-Vee, stacked high on pallet displays and end caps. Just in time for the big show. That crisp Diet Coke taste with a bold cherry twist. Perfect for game night, family night, or anytime you want something refreshing without the sugar. But don't wait. This is a Hy-Vee customer favorite, so get yours today.
If you're looking for an authentic Italian experience, look no further than Pasta Amore. For 4 decades, Pasta Amore has been keeping the spark alive for couples in the Omaha area with their homemade pasta, made fresh every day. Our hand-picked selection of exceptional wines will put the nightcap on your evening that you expect. Open every day at 4. Stop by Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village and enjoy dining in the romantic dining room or relax on our shaded patio.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with the trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Hey, Jays fans, it's hoop season, and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vests, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Winter may slow pests down, but it's the perfect time to prepare your home for spring. Rodents, spiders, and other pests often show up indoors this time of year. A winter pest control checkup helps seal entry points now so you're not dealing with pests when warmer weather hits. At Recon Pest Services, we're proud to be a local company and supporting causes that make Omaha better. If you're looking for a pest control partner or even support for a cause, think Recon. Visit reconpestservices.com and get your home ready for a pest-free spring.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Closing her down on a Monday night here at 1620 The Zone, brought to you by our friends at Bellevue University. Download the BU Bruins app tonight to keep up to date on all the championship action happening on Bellevue's campus. I'm Jimmy Allen. It's John Schreiner, Dan Campinen on the ones and twos tonight. We're going to give you our closing arguments courtesy of Bob Williams. We get to the power rankings in the NFL tomorrow night. We're a little bit behind the clock tonight. So we'll wrap up the show with our thoughts. What we'll do here is we'll all three give you a hot take to wrap up the show. And we'll put a poll up on Twitter. You'll vote for whoever had the best take. Whoever receives the fewest amount of votes will have the worst closing argument. Yeah.
Those football topics are precious. We got to start piecemealing them out throughout the summer.
Okay. Well, yeah, fair enough.
Now starts the piecemealing of the football.
We got to keep topical.
Yeah.
John, you want to start us off?
Sure. You might have seen the news that North Dakota State is joining the Mountain West in football. And I'm not going to talk too much about the football aspect of things because I think it's fairly obvious that they belong at least at that level. I think what it means, though, is something else, and it's going to impact things locally. I think the Summit League is dead.
Ooh, that's a great point.
Denver already announced that they are leaving the Summit League for the West Coast Conference effective July 1st of this year.
The whole state of Colorado is like, we're on the West Coast now.
North Dakota State is leaving, they say, to join the Mountain West as a football-only member.
Right.
How long do you think that lasts?
1 season, and it's probably for legal reasons.
And we know that traditionally, where goes North Dakota State goes North Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remove those three schools from the Summit League is functionally nothing.
A lot of the powerhouse and a lot of the financial
you have the
backing.
South Dakota schools. You have St. Thomas, which has a large sum of money, but then it's Omaha, Oral Roberts, Kansas City.
Leaves a lot to be desired.
It leaves a lot to be desired, which is probably going like in the next couple of years. I think this thing is over, if not next year, which leaves the Omaha Mavericks looking for a new home. And where does that team belong? That's a tough answer. If the Summit League is dead, where goes Omaha? You have the OVC, which most of those teams are a trek to get to from here.
Yep.
Or you have, you can attempt to jump up in class and join the Missouri Valley.
That's exactly where I was going.
But the
That's
Missouri
a big
Valley
jump.
The Missouri Valley has certain capital requirements that you have to spend a certain amount of money in your athletics programs to even qualify for membership. I don't think they can do that. This becomes dicey in a hurry, and for a lot of these schools, I don't know what happens.
Yeah, and I think the other schools you referenced, the Oral Roberts of the world, the Kansas Cities of the world, are in that same boat.
Absolutely,
Dan.
And so is South Dakota and South Dakota State.
I'm going to flash back to last night one more time before we get out of here. This is actually probably very specifically towards people in the Midwest.
Okay.
The Bad Bunny halftime show might not have been for you.
Go ahead. Keep reading or keep going.
But it was a vibe. I enjoyed.
I have to now change my take.
I enjoyed watching Bad Bunny do his thing. Pulled out a lot of his friends and people that he actually wanted to see there. It was a very, very immersive halftime show. I'm very happy that we got to see Bad Bunny do the halftime show. And I'm also a little bit mad.
I'm going to go the other direction.
That was what Twitter was all about.
I'm going to go the other direction. I did not enjoy Bad Bunny doing his halftime show thing last night. And you know what? That doesn't matter because it wasn't for me. The Super Bowl halftime show is not always for you. If you don't like the taste in music, you don't have to watch it. There's the Puppy Bowl. There's so many different options that you just don't. There was literally other options put on last night for people that thought halftime show should be for you. And that's okay too. You don't have to like the entertainment that is provided to you. There's so many other options and so many other hills you could die on that the Super Bowl halftime show does not have to be it. The Super Bowl halftime show was not for me last night. You know what it was? Last year. I loved Kendrick Lamar's halftime show last year. I thought it was great. I'm not a Bad Bunny fan. I listen, the guy's a great pro wrestler. He did 2 WWE shows. He was fantastic in the ring. I don't know any of his music. It wasn't for me last night, and that's fine. You know what? When the Rolling Stones performed 6 years ago, it wasn't for a lot of people either. Were people really up? I kind of was because that performance sucked, but it is what it is. Like I like the Stones. They just didn't have it anymore. Like Super Bowl halftime does not have to be for everyone. It's one of the largest entertainment venues in the world, and they have to hit certain demographics every single year. Why people were so up in arms about this, I will never understand.
Well, I think there's an easy way to understand it, but
right. But again, logical thinking standpoint.
Yeah. No, I mean, you could be me and just never watch the halftime show.
Exactly. That is also an option.
I honestly, I couldn't tell you if any of the last 10 halftime shows were any good or not because I don't watch them. I don't care. Like I'll tell you why the halftime show wasn't for me. Because halftime shows aren't for me.
Yeah.
I don't watch them.
By the way, not even just the Super Bowl. Like
I don't.
Like usually if I'm at a Creighton game or a Nebraska game, I just choose to walk away. It's not because I have anything against Red Panda. I don't care.
My running joke, and I say it every year, is when somebody asks me, what'd you think of the Super Bowl commercials? I say, I'm not really into commercials. I just watch it for the football.
Listen, that's a great point. And you kind of already referenced the commercials earlier.
Yeah.
Like in the off, like it was me and my one friend watching it. We were just talking football the whole time. I think I watched 3 commercials total last night. I watched the Ben Stiller. You mentioned what it was. What was it?
Yeah, Ben Stiller's Instacart commercial.
With Pedro Pascal. I watched the
Benson Boone. Pedro Pascal was not in.
Oh yeah, sorry, Benson Boone. I'm sorry
because he does the flip.
I said that earlier too, didn't I? Benson Boone. I'm sorry.
You're thinking of the halftime show. Pedro Pascal was in the halftime show.
Yes, sorry. Thank you. And so was Jessica Alba.
I
saw the Budweiser commercial with the eagle and the horse.
Ridiculous.
And there was one I can't remember what it was, but yeah,
probably I saw the
70s throwback every sitcom commercial with Tom Brady at the end.
That was a Dunkin' Donuts
one?
Dunkin'
Donuts, thank you.
I saw that one. Everyone's raving about it. I was like, this is stupid. It's a dumb commercial. I don't like this.
The best one, I think, of all last night that I actually saw and paid attention to that got me to perk up was the Xfinity one, where they're in Jurassic Park and all the gates start to fail. And then they just have the Xfinity guy be like, oh, you forgot to plug it in. Plugs in the Wi-Fi and everything locks back up. And it's like happy Jurassic Park. And they're like, everything's safe and everything's great. Yeah, guys.
I liked the part where Kenneth Walker was doing nasty juke moves.
Yeah, I liked the football. I liked all the football that was on last night. Hope you liked all the After Hours Lounge tonight. You can let us know if you hated our Super Bowl halftime takes. That's fine. We'll take your criticism. We'll always be glad to interact with our fans. Check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by our friends over at Bob Williams at Williams Law. Listen, you hear Bob in here every single week talking about the benefits or the negative side of being on the wrong side of a lawsuit. You can check out Bob Williams at Williams Law. He's going to give you a free, no obligation legal consultation. He's going to sit you down, explain your rights, get you ready for your big day in court so you're not caught off guard when you face litigation. Head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com tonight and get a free, no obligation legal consultation tonight. For Dan Campbell and John Schreiner, I've been Jimmy Allen. Happy National Pizza Day, everybody.
Pie.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them